Jesus Christ. Mountain Dew not only triggers my barrels, it triggers my homicidal thoughts, but it ironically also works as a really good substitute for an antidepressant. It feels really fucking good when you drink a bunch of it. Your body starts vibrating and shit, and you start to feel like you're having an out-of-body experience. At least for me, I love it. Now, I have something to say, and I realize I'm gonna say it because fuck it, I'm not exactly utilizing my health care to get antidepressants. Sure, I could at any time I want to, but it's like, between me not being able to find my bus pass and me not really giving a fuck about what happens next, and I don't know, I don't know when people age out of certain healthcare terms. I'll just cut to the chase. I feel happy when I think about certain members of my family dying. Like, I remember when I was younger, my mom had two incidences where she was driving in a tunnel. And she was, like, on the road as one does when they fucking drive. And she got stuck in the tunnel. Like, someone would always swerve their car, and then next thing you know, she'd get stuck, and then a huge semi-truck, those big ones, the ones that hold, like, gasoline or storage containers or whatever, almost slams into her by this much, and she almost gets hit, but she somehow survives and makes it back home. And I remember both times, despite not liking my mother, because she's a fucking cunt, I was like, oh no, I'm glad you're okay. And each time she'd instantly insult me or call me dramatic, and it's like, bitch, fuck you. She would immediately make me wish that she did get crushed. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, do you know how it feels where most of my life I'd watch like cute family TV shows and movies and stuff, and I'd be like, oh boy, haha, this would be so nice. Man, I wish I had a family. And then it's like, right, you do. And it's like, fuck. Like, aside from my younger brother, who is a sweetheart, except I'm pretty sure he's into Kevin Samuel type shit and Andrew Tate, at least from what I could see from his online social media presence. Yikes. Let's hope he grows out of that. But aside from that, every other member of my family, it's complex. I'll put it this way. My mom was neglectful but controlling in the most confusing way possible. It's like, at least be consistent. Do you give a fuck about me or do you not? Do you want to control every aspect of my life or do you not want me around? Probably a mix of both. And I don't know, there's a lot I could bring up. There's so much, a flood of memories. My stepdad, for example, if anything bad happened to him, I wouldn't really give a fuck. Because I remember at some point he used to be a chill dude, but then over time he became just another abusive member of the household, giving threats and being on that bullshit. I remember exactly how I felt when I found out he was cheating on my mother with random bitches on Kick. And I remember, do you want to know how it feels to be 17 years old and you're making a catfish account just to like troll certain dudes you dated, and you see your own fucking stepfather message you trying to set up a date with your catfish account? I was 17, my catfish account was 19, and my stepdad knew me for a large portion of my life, from like 4th grade or so. Extremely fucking creepy. There's like, I remember the way that asshole would greet the fucking cats in the household with 10 times as much energy and excitement, but not me. What a bitch. Let's see. I remember how my mom got cats despite knowing I was allergic. She didn't give a fuck if I lived or died. I remember she specifically did it because she didn't want me around the house. She just wanted me holed up in my room all day. She didn't want to fucking see me. She was ashamed of me because I had been in chat rooms when I was younger, just anime chat rooms, but even then, well, how do I put this? Anyone who knows how it was to be a teenager or a young kid when chat rooms were a thing. Let's just say internet boyfriends sometimes happen. Let's just say you get curious at a young age about things your parents won't tell you about. And let's just say there are predators on the internet, but other times there are just people the same fucking age that you're just bonding with because you don't have friends at school, because your family has fucked up your childhood so much that it was hard to make other friends at school. And then sometimes your parents are so abusive and weird about teaching you how to socialize and shit and not allowing you to hang out with friends who they deemed not cool, and a lot of factors. Simply put, instead of handling it healthy, they handled it ratchetly. I remember the bullying I got when they found out I was in those chat rooms. It was the worst summer of my life. Like, I had lost so much weight, a scary amount of weight, because it was easier to hide in my bedroom with no food and no water, endlessly, than to even be in the kitchen for longer than 7 seconds without my older brother harassing me, without my sister occasionally joining in, without my stepdad joining in, without my mother being the biggest fucking perpetrator. I remember during like the first week of high school, when I had just been gaining some weight back after being extremely underweight from all the starvation. I remember the way my older brother said I was getting fat and the whole family laughed. I was not. I weighed the least out of all of them, and I was like 13. I remember how my mom got cats, knowing I was allergic because she just didn't want to see me. She got 3 of them. For years, I had to get used to not being damn near anywhere in my house without expecting problems breathing, endless sneezing, face pain, lung pain. No wonder I was struggling in that household for so many reasons. I remember everything. Sometimes I still feel, well, I won't even say guilty. It's not guilt. Is it shame? Disgust? Sometimes I think to myself, do I care about other people's approval? Do I care if this hurts their feelings? Why should I? I was a young fucking girl. Sorry? I'm not fucking sorry. Fuck them. I actually almost had a video I recorded a few weeks ago talking about how from a young age, well, I think specifically around like age 16 and up, that's when I started fantasizing about killing my mother in her sleep. I thought to myself, I can take out her eyes, her stupid fucking bright green eyes, always bloodshot with rage, and I can take them out. And as she flails half asleep, blinded, I could finally go for the jugular or stab her in her fucking heart if she even has one. Or should I take out my stepdad first, because my mom's a fat bitch, and my stepdad, well, you know, he's the muscular one, the big macho man, even though he was so macho that you could expect him to do fucking shit around the household. So macho of a family man he was, to cheat on his fucking wife and not do shit as she abused the fucking kids in the household. Because he was too busy talking to bitches on Kick or playing Candy Crush or staring at tweets or looking at Facebook. Even if my younger brother needed a toilet fucking plunged, he would still find a way to only get his macho energy out and his suppressed rage against his wife that he never fucking revealed because he's a punk-ass pussy bitch who's weak and feminine in a bad way. He would use his energy to rage at me or his kid. People vulnerable. He was disgusting. I don't care what happens to that man. I don't see him as a father. And what's so funny is I think the moment he started, like, hating me was because there was an incident. And it's so funny how this came to be. So for Father's Day, when I was younger, I remember I hung out with my grandmother, and I specifically thought to myself, I'm gonna get a gift for my stepdad for Father's Day. And I was also going to get something for my biological dad, even though I didn't think he deserved it, but mainly because I knew my grandmother on my dad's side would have made it a condition. We went to Japan, we got chocolates, and we got like a fake flower and stuff. And my stupid fucking grandmother on my dad's side, I remember the way that when we got home, she put both items in my hand. And I was like, what, fucking 12? And anxious and didn't know how to let him down. Either way, I just remember the way she put that shit in my hand, and before I could even say anything, she said, go in your go in your dad's room and hand him this and say, happy birthday, daddy. And she forced me to say that. I've never called that man daddy in my life. And I had to wake that stupid ass, ugly ass, bitch ass nigga out of his sleep and hand him the 2 items. And I felt bad, but I thought to myself, at least when I get home, I can talk to my motherfucking, I can make my stepdad a gift. That didn't go according to plan. I also forgot to mention this. Once I went to, oh yeah, my 8th grade graduation. I forget this. Sometimes I feel, I don't feel that guilty about it because it's like, there's nothing to be ashamed about. My mom was such an abusive bitch and terrible throughout middle school. Specifically, that's when she ramped up her bullshit favoritism and bullshit everything. My dad's side of the family was ironically the ones who were helping me. The ones who were like, here, Tamia, let's get you clothes that actually look good on you so you can stop being bullied. Here, Tamia, let's get you skincare products that actually seem to work for your skin. Let's get your eyebrows waxed. Let's get your hair done. Let's make it so that you don't just look like a fucking neglected version of Bow Wow. Let's make sure you look like a nice, beautiful young lady like you are. Let's teach you like manners and class and things about the world and all these different experiences to increase your intellect because we don't want to be like your shitty mother and just have me feeling like shit. And I remember it was 6th grade and that was one of the first times my mother called me fucking ugly. and she had plenty of incidences of threatening me with violence. So many that I don't even know where to start. And it was it's just like, wow. It's amazing that I'm 25 and I'm just now learning the guilt about that. It's like maybe she should have felt, I'll put it this way, to skip to the point for my 8th grade graduation, a simple thing that they barely even gave a fuck about. It was very simple. I have 2 names. One that is on my birth certificate and one that my mom edited to put inside of the education system. So that's one of those things. And I remember specifically, I asked my English teacher for my name on stage if I could just be called my dad's last name. Or that side of the family's last name. Because they were the ones who actually seemed to have fucking taken care of me. In a way that was beneficial to me. And then, meanwhile, my mom was just the one threatening abuse and not helping me with schoolwork and harassing me and bullying me and just adding to the miserableness. So I remember I walked on the stage and they said one name instead of a combination or just like my mom's name. And let's just say when I got home, it was one of the most traumatic nights of my life. She was mad that I didn't get my stepdad a gift, and then she tied it into taking my dad's biological last name, even though that's the name she put on the fucking certificate. It's not my fucking fault. And then, like, maybe like a few weeks after that, the chat rooms incident happened, and just so much happened that could have all been handled better, but it would have required me to have an entirely different family. My older brother had no reason to treat me that way. My sister was a cunt, so I wasn't surprised at that. But my older brother... Sorry, 1 second. I don't know if you know how it feels to have your favorite sibling that you looked up to suddenly be the reason that you almost killed yourself multiple times before you're even fucking 14, 13. I didn't deserve that shit. I didn't deserve that shit. I fucking hate him. Why did he do that? I remember last summer, I ran into my mom's stupid fucking friend. And she brought him up, and it's like everyone brought him up. They always... People had the idea in their head that it's like, oh, look, you're his favorite little sister, you're his sweetie pie, blah, blah, blah. Sorry. I had a lot of caffeine. Yeah, I had a Red Bull and, like, a 22 ounce of Mountain Dew. I still have another 32 ounces I'm gonna drink. But, like, that nigga went out of his way to become, like, my biggest op. Like a plot twist surprise boss battle. And I came out the other side of a summer, instead of, like, happy and rejuvenated and looking forward to high school, I came out the other side with a fucking eating disorder and trauma and hatred for him. I wanted that man to go to college and fucking die. I wanted to kill him in his fucking sleep, and I would have loved to do so, and honestly, he's fucking lucky that I didn't.
I hated that man. I don't even like J. Cole because of that nigga. He would always blast J. Cole and 50 Cent because he's one of those stupid ass, light skinned, bitch ass niggas who acts like he's fucking. Like, we get it, you're overcompensating, bitch ass nigga. It's not my fault. You don't have a fucking father figure. And that your mom's a stupid fucking. Just fuck you. Fuck him. God. Sorry. No, I'm not. Sorry. Well, I'm sorry for being a little more brash than I expected, but what the fuck? I'm just. I'm highly defensive of myself because it's like I was a little girl, and instead of any adult or teenage person in that situation being like, hey, you know what? Maybe Tibia did go through a lot. Like, my older brother, he specifically, one of the most traumatic moments of my fucking life. I remember he was there, he knew when my mom beat me in the shower for 8 fucking hours and would turn the water on from steaming cold. I mean, like steaming hot to freezing cold to torture me, and she beat my fucking ass hard as fuck for 8 hours and made him look at me naked and stare at me naked. He was there, he saw that. Fucking whore. That fucking whore, I hate her. I hate that bitch, I want her dead. I want her fucking killed. If someone slit her fucking throat, I'd be so happy. You wanna know what happened? Ooh, last winter when I met that guy Mitchell, he was so fucking great. And I remember specifically the way he said that he didn't even hear much about my life, but he heard just enough. He didn't know I was homicidal. He didn't know anything about how bad he didn't, but he wanted to kill my fucking mother for me. And I had never loved a man more in that fucking moment than I did for Mitchell, and I think that was what made it extra hard for me. He was my type. He was awesome in a lot of ways. Was he also a punk ass bitch in his own way? Of course, but like he also added to my trauma. Of course he did. But you know what? It was so nice meeting someone who just finally saw me and was like, "Yeah, your mom's an evil fucking cunt, and you didn't need to go through that. And she had no right to do that to you, and you were just a kid." I've gone through so much in my life. I've almost had restraining orders placed against me from lovers just because I would be losing my mind, but they usually would be like, you know what, Smia, I know you have a really bad home life, and I know that a lot of your issues come from your mother. I hope you can move out and get a job and be happy. Like those niggas were still fucked up, mind you, but they still, like, even if they couldn't hold themselves accountable, they at least would still extend me the grace of, I know that her home situation is bad. They wouldn't even know the full situation, but even just small little slivers knew it. I still tell people little anecdotes about my mom here and there, and then most of them are like, yeah, sounds like she tried to fucking kill you to me, huh? And it's like, yeah. So why do I have to be the one that feels guilt for saying that? You know what? At some point when I was a teenage girl, after a lifetime of terrible fucking abuse, I wanted my older brother. I wanted him fucking killed. I wouldn't have minded if my sister fell down the stairs someday and cracked open her fucking skull and I never had to hear about her existence again. I hate to say it, even the idea of that makes me really happy right now. You know how fucked up you have to be in my life for me to actually feel euphoric joy picturing you dying? Like, even drinking 2 liters of Mountain Dew or 400 milligrams of caffeine does not bring me the euphoria of picturing my family dead. Or at least everyone but my younger brother. My younger brother is a sweetheart. And anything that happens with him, he's a product of his environment. And I know that. I hope he's okay. He's so sweet. I felt so bad leaving him behind. I wish I stayed in contact, because I don't know how they corrupted him. I don't know what they've done to him over the past 5 years with me being gone. I hope he's okay. I hope he's not trapped. I'm sorry. I hope that me leaving hasn't made my mother accelerate her abuse and then worsen it your way and fuck up your high school experience. I hate that fucking bitch. I want to kill her so much. It would make me so happy. If I saw her get hit by a truck in front of me, I would feel instant joy. I would react as if my favorite team won the fucking Super Bowl. I hate that bitch. Don't worry. There's smoke for my biological father, too. He's like... But for him, it's more one of those things where it's like, he set up the coins himself to be seen as how he is. Like, I didn't even know he was my dad when I was younger. I thought this must be some weird distant cousin. And it's like, I remember things. It's like I remembered that when I got my ass beat for 8 hours and my mom tried to make me sleep on the fucking bathroom floor, you were laying in bed next to her like a fucking weak ass punk ass bitch, caressing her hand, trying to flirt with her. Like, you stupid fucking whore. I hate you. I don't really care what happens to him. If he wakes up one day and his soul is gone, it's like, it's hard to believe there was anything in the first place there. Do you ever just see people and you're like, what's your fucking purpose? Like, I got lucky that I got all the beauty and the brains and intelligence and all the potential that my fucking family members wasted. My mom could have been something had she kept her fucking legs closed and got therapy and actually tried to distance from her family. She could have been something. Sometimes I feel bad for the version of her that she could have been. I wish that she wore a condom with the first fucking dude she got knocked up by. Well, I just wish that she fucking left him and never went. I just wish she never gave that asshole a chance. You were 18, he was 29. I hate that you had to be in that situation. And especially because of my sister, she was a product of rape, and that's tragic. My mom shouldn't have taken out her rage about that on my sister, in my opinion. I think she subconsciously did. She did a lot of gross shit. I don't like my mother. She's disgusting. I wouldn't even call her a mother. She's just a whore. Not for being raped, obviously, but for many other reasons. I hate that slut. And it's like, I'll put it this way. If you're like, how do you feel about, like, any holiday that you have to spend alone? I usually remind myself that it's still 10 times better than being with them, because even if I was around for Thanksgiving or Christmas, it would still be me crying and sad and alone. Except I'd rather actually be alone, not surrounded by people who are fucking assholes. I remember once for New Year's Eve. Like, if I recall, this was the New Year's Eve right before the pandemic happened. Yeah, that was wild. That was a fun one. I remember I lied and said that I had plans with friends and that I was gonna go out and explore the town with them. Did like because everyone else was gonna be at home eating gumbo and like making uh boards for their goals and shit. But and with then I just thought to myself, like, did I really have plans? No. But I got dolled up. I walked around the city. I had shitty Burger King. Watched a shitty movie as I cried in the movie theater. Got locked in the mall. That part was actually the most fun part. I took hella selfies. I had a lit ass time. And then, yeah, and I eventually got back home around like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or something. And I was extremely happy. 10 times happier than I would have been if I were just sitting in the corner with people who I fucking hated. Like, as they mocked my goals, or I made some shitty mood board, and it's like, yeah, just how do I put this? I didn't care about any of them at that point. It's like, that's just how I feel. Well, yeah, so fuck my family. It's one of those things where it's like, it's so funny that like one single graduation where I chose one name instead of the other caused a huge domino effect. And it's like, yeah, bitch. it's like, it's like they proved my point. Exactly. Instead of going, oh yeah, we should try to be like, this is a useless event, like it's an eighth grade graduation, we can try to be better for you, Timothy, and like try to like communicate and do this and do that. They just got hostile, 10 times worse. And it's just like, yeah. Anyway, like, yeah. On the bright side, they aren't my family anymore. And I think that's a blessing. It's hard to believe that it's gonna be like 5 years since I've seen them. Which I don't really care that much about. It's just weird. It's like, okay, so I was 20 when I left. And then now I'm gonna be 25 in the next few months. That's weird. Time really flew by. I don't care about what else happens in their life. Like, I don't have the slightest wink of curiosity. And I feel actually pretty happy whenever I don't have to, like, know they exist. And life has gotten significantly better. Like, even at its lowest moments, it's like, it's 10 times better than being some girl trapped in a room, hidden from the world. At least now I get to be who I want, where I want, whatever I want. And I don't have to hide massive aspects of my personality. And it feels good. And I guess if you're like, what triggered this? Funny enough, I was working on a script about generational trauma and abuse and enabling and expectations and all that shit. And then another script I was working on, ironically, this time the script was going to be about mental health and like trauma and mental illness. A plot point in both was abusive fucking mothers. And it's like, yeah, like, she sucked so much as a mother. I'm just really looking at some moments like, damn. Anyway, it feels good that I at least, you know what, I came out super hot, super talented, and now I'm actually achieving my goals. And I'm happy, and I have people who love me, and I have a life that I actually like and enjoy, and it feels good. And you know what? That's pretty damn stellar to me. So yeah, I guess the best thing is that it's like, okay, I don't have to do anything bad. You know, those types of people, they fuck up their lives perfectly well by themselves. Knowing my mother, she's still probably an alcoholic, stupid ass bitch. Knowing my other people, I don't give a fuck. I actually don't. I don't even want to entertain this conversation because even any second of me, I don't even want to picture my mother as an alcoholic because I don't want to picture my mother in general. She was an ugly cunt last time I remembered her, and the image of her in my brain is disgusting. I'm just glad I have everything that she doesn't. Self awareness, the effort to attempt inner work, the effort to try to hold myself accountable when I hurt others, the effort of actually achieving my goals, the effort of making sure condoms fucking work and that I pop plan Bs and that I try to choose people who are right for me, not just any old idiot. And I guess I feel happy. I feel happy that I am so detached to everybody. I remember when I met Mitch last winter, and funny enough, like I am, see, like it is good that I estranged my family because it's like a romantic week with a stranger from like the internet, like eating my pussy on my period. That shit was amazing. Red Christmas, am I right? Let us know, let us know, let us know. But like that bitch ass nigga, like he was still cool though, kind of mostly, like cool enough. I liked him a lot, even though he was a bitch. But it's a lot of backstory to that. Let's just say I was so happy that I met him, and I was very glad that he especially was just so seriously like, you are one of the strongest people I know. And he explained that he wants to estrange his family, but he can't due to like, because there's a million things. There's societal pressure, there's people not understanding you, and there's like a subconscious urge in everybody that says if you leave your parents you will die alone and suffer and all that. I guess I've been lucky because I can name like at least four moments where whenever I say them out loud, people go, "Hey, Tamir, your mom tried to fucking kill you," and it's like, yeah. Like from a very young age, it was basically like, "Oh, a life without her would be better," and so far it has. And I remember that she saw it because within like 3 or so months of me being away from her, it's like, yeah, I like 1 second she just saw me as some useless jobless bitch who was just like rotting away in her bedroom in the back fucking uselessly, and then within 3 months of being away from her, it's like, cool, I had my own apartment, I had hella friends who loved me, I had hella wonderful sweet opportunities coming my way, like, and like I was making really good money and loved at my job and had a successful career. Like, I wonder how that feels to just be able to see that someone left you and immediately has a better life. I wonder how that feels, but I wouldn't know because I don't know. People, whenever they leave my life, their life gets fucking worse for a reason. But I guess it feels good. I'm unlearning guilt and shame because I'm not the type of person to even have guilt or shame. At least, no, I work very hard to make sure that I try to hold myself accountable in a lot of different ways. And I guess it just feels good that it's like I'm reaching the point where it's like more than a decade later, I'm finally like, yeah, you know what? They were fucking cunts. I see why I did that. Like, I see why I felt bad in the moment, but deep down, it's like they proved my point that they were not very good family, so I see why I wanted to associate less with them. Like, absolutely. And I'm so happy I chose me. God bless. And yeah, it feels nice to know that. Like, think about it. If I was still in touch with them, I'd be one of those loser people that has to feel pressure to be in contact with terrible fucking family members and have traumatic Christmases or boring ass, lame ass, punk ass Thanksgivings filled with insults and all sorts of shit. It's like, nah, I get to spend it with cute men who are 6'5" who eat my pussy like it's sirloin steak and asshole too. Amen. 5 days in a row. Amen. That shit feels good. And I'm able to do things I like, and it feels pleasant. I'm just saying, some people would see it as like being aimless, but I'll put it this way. Under my family, I already knew how it felt to be aimless. Or even if I had ambition, they would get in the way. So now it's like, cool. The sky is no longer the limit. Like, I remember when I asked for a gap year after high school, and my mom agreed just to change her mind and say if I didn't succeed in the film industry in 2 months, then, like, fuck my goals, basically. And I remember how that fucked up, but it's okay, because now that she's not around, I can do what I want again. And I don't know, it's all coming together, is what I'm saying. God bless me, man. Anyway, I am probably gonna go masturbate. And I know you're like, to me, you're gonna masturbate after all? Yes! That's what I get to do. I'm a grown woman-ish person. I'm a grown-ass adult, so I get to masturbate whenever I want. That feels great. Alright, well, that's enough of therapy today. I'm gonna go masturbate to lesbian porn, to niggas I'm seeing, maybe drink more Mountain Dew, even though I can feel my heart palpitations going off like crazy. Let's see. Good luck, Charlie. Bye.